More in Sirkin chapter 1. Again, we're setting the stage as far as how we reason. On page 8, there's a definition: contingency table, or cross-tabulation, a way of presenting data for purposes of testing hypotheses. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the words definitions that they're talking about on page 8 and tie them into figure 1.1 on page 19. So please turn to page 19 of your Sirkin textbook, page 19 of this one. And what Sirkin's doing here is he has this like little hypothesis that the more clouds there are, the more there's going to be rain going on. So he wants to deduct this. He wants to look deeper at this. So what Sirkin's going to do is evaluate it for like 30 days. He's going to look at this. Okay? For 30 days. So what I'm going to do is, he has different variables he's looking at. Variables, like what type of things is he looking at here? Cloudy days, partly cloudy days, and not cloudy days. And he's going to look at, as far as variables, as far as heavy rain, moderate rainfall, light rainfall, and no rainfall, or whatever, which is none, as far as the amount of rainfall. So let's tie in some of the definitions. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them. Please read your book and look at a lot of definitions as supported for laying the groundwork for your stats, for understanding stats as far as statistics. We have different marginal totals. We have a row marginal total and column marginal totals. Row marginal totals, think like rowing a boat or west to east. Your row, you have heavy. So the row marginal total would be 7 plus 1 plus 0 equals 8. And for the moderate rainfall row, it's 2 plus 4 plus 0 equals 6. Notice this, I added a total column, which Sirkin doesn't have in this page of the textbook. Previously he did on page 8. But okay, next, let's move on as far as the next row, light rain, amount of rainfall. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 0 is still 5. 5 plus 0 is still 5. And for none, 0 plus 1 plus 10 equals 11. That's your row marginal totals for those rows. Now look at column marginal totals. Columns, think of pillars like on a building. They're running like north to south. Okay? So you have, to figure out for cloudy, it's 7 plus 2 plus 1 plus 0 equals 10. Whoop, try to make a 0 there. And then for partly cloudy, 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 10. Okay? And now for this one, not cloudy, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 10 equals 10. Hey, wait a minute here. His 30 days. By chance, there were 10 cloudy days, 10 partly cloudy days, and 10 not cloudy days. That's what this kind of means when you're looking at it. And then grand total. What's grand total? Well, grand total is this little number in the column. Corner here, look at that. And that's actually called, we'll talk about cells next. But anyway, what this is 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 30. And when you add these up too, this equals 30. 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus 11 equals 30. So your grand total is 30 there in the corner. And Sirkin also has something called a cell. He's talking, which more than him, other ones they refer to as cell or cells. Cell singular. So basically what the cell is what he's trying to tell you is, a cell is, for example, let's say if you have a cloudy, you're looking at the variable cloudy as far as the amount of cloudiness and then the amount of rainfall heavy. For that cell, it has the number 7. So that's a cell, where this would be another cell, partly cloudy and heavy. Heavy rain, that is, partly cloudy for the day. And not cloudy for the cloudiness of the sky and heavy rain. That would be another cell, that would be 0. And again, this would be a cell. So what it's looking at is the column in the row where it connects. That's an individual cell. And again, there's another definition which we'll look at, datum, which is plural. And, data is plural and datum is singular. So you look at that as far as the word data, which is all this stuff we put in the table, the numbers we gathered from the days. And datum would be singular, which please review your vocab in your book for that. And datum is D-A-T-U-M. But let's look at now as far as a relationship, like what's going on here. Okay, the word positive relationship, or indicate what's going on. A positive relationship, positive association type of thing, it's where when you have lots of like a lot of one thing and a lot of another, that's where your biggest number, both as one increases, the other one increases. So for this one, what we're looking at is increasing of cloudiness, amount of cloudiness and amount of rainfall. So when there's heavy rainfall, it's more as far as cloudiness. Notice moderate amount of rainfall, moderate, that's a 2. Amount of rainfall for light is a 1 and none is 0. So as the cloudiness is increasing, so is the amount of rainfall. Let's look over here to make certain that that's what's going on. Partly cloudy, notice we have moderate and light rainfall. In heavy, there's only number 1 here. That's a smaller number than 4. And for here, none rainfall, that's a 1, so that's more. So notice, when we're looking at this, where's the big numbers? Where do the big numbers fall? They fall here. Okay? And let's look over here to see if we still get this like diagonal thing, this line going on, if it works that way. Okay, with not cloudy, as far as amount of cloudiness we're looking at, not cloudy, in rainfall. Notice there's no heavy rainfall days for the 10 days he's looking at, no moderate, no light, but none. So for by chance, for all, what he has for all 10 days when there were no clouds, there were no rain. So what a positive relationship is when one's getting more, like there's more clouds as far as relationship. This, as the clouds increase, the rain increases. Where the clouds decrease, not cloudy, the amount of rain decreases also. That would be what's referred to as a positive relationship, a positive association. Now he has something called an off diagonal in the book. And this is on page number 20 of your Sirkin textbook. Let's look at an off diagonal. This is, they call it inversely related, which is also negative related, which will negative association, inverse association or relationship. We'll come into these other terms later in the book. He changed up the numbers a little bit here. Let's just change them up. He has a 1, wait, let me see this again. 0 for cloudy, and then the 1, and then the 2, and then 7, and then he changed it up as far as the not cloudy. I believe he just added 10 up top. Yep, that's what he did. A 10, 0, 0, and that would be 0. So, diagonal doesn't work that way. The biggest numbers aren't here for each one. So we got to change that as far as biggest, as far as greater, larger. I know I'm using elementary words just to make it fun, connect with files that already existed in your brain. So for this one, the biggest number here is a 10 for that column. See that? Not cloudy. Oh my goodness, that's a minimum amount for that variable with a big amount for... As one increases, the other one decreases. Oh my golly. This is inverse. We circle the biggest ones here, 10, and then there's 2 4s, and then there's the 7. That's called... He calls that inversely related, which later we'll call that like an inverse relationship or a negative relationship, negative association, something like that. There's different words that are, depends on what type of data, what type of formula you're using, how you phrase it. So you'll learn as you're going on what's like precision with the language. It's clear and concise and to the point with stats. So this relationship here would be inversely related. Okay? So, because as one's increasing, the other one's decreasing. So it's instead of as one, like the positive, as one's increasing, the other one's also increasing. So please make yourself familiar with this as far as how it works. And if you have any questions, ask your class teammates that you have. We're in this together. Send an email, the one for the class members, but if you're not part of our class at the college, you can Google this online, you can look this up at other places that may explain this a little bit more clear and concisely, where I'm dealing with a little population of people that I work with. And something else to look at, what Sirkin has to say here is that, for example, the other one, where as far as the clouds, where clouds increase and rain increases, let's say where that was a 0 and what were these numbers? I'm trying to remember what these were. I think it was a 7 up here, and I think he changed it to a 2 and a 1. Let's pretend then that's how it was. So let's say the original one, where it's positively associated, where when there was no clouds, not cloudy, there was no rain whatsoever when there were no clouds. And what he's saying is that we may see an association with the original one as far as clouds and rainfall, but we can't say it definitely causes it. Because there, that definitely if there are clouds, there is going to definitely be rain. I mean, there's exception to that. For example, people that see me around when school or tutoring or statistics, I have a tie on. I like ties. So basically me wearing a tie does not mean I'm going to talk about statistics. Yeah, there's correlation usually when I'm in a statistics class or I'm talking about stats. I have a tie on. I like ties. But I wear ties to church. I don't go there and start talking with stats, like during a sermon or something. I don't do that. So me wearing a tie doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be talking about statistics. So there's like an association going on. It appears to be a relation there, but it doesn't mean that necessarily one is always 100% of the time with the other one. So I'm just trying to tie it up with things you see in life. So this is basically, again, the groundwork for Sirkin. Happy studies. Until next video.